Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid!
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's the barber to the stars, Hollywood Pete McGilvery. Well, we have another great show for you tonight, boys, so let's get started. Of course, we want to thank our wonderful sponsor, Pizzeria Dante, 415 Harvard Street, Brookline, Mass. Just saw David, and he just saw Russ getting pulled over by the cops. It's been exciting night.
Tomato and garlic pizza is excellent.
I just remember whatever, and I used your name. I just threw your name around.
Yeah,
Are you still here?
I'm on probation.
But we're glad he's safe because you can't do anything in this town without the Grandstanders knowing, just so you all know.
Exactly
All right, so boys, we're going to start with the Celtics because the Celtics are just so hot. And we kind of buried the Celtics last week. And, you know, a couple of people in the...
Who buried them?
Well, we buried them later in the show.
It's the off season. They're not going to play.
No, but everybody wants to talk the Celtics, which I agree. And Marcus is back, the person that we speak about when we talk about the Celtics more than anyone. 90% of the time, it's Marcus Smart. Well, he re-signs at 4 years, $52 million. I don't know if I'm happy, sad. I have mixed feelings. Tell me, guys, what do you think?
He didn't get an offer from anyone else, and the Celtics just shoveled the money at him. I don't know what Danny was thinking.
I feel like Danny was thinking, I've got to show some of these other
After
guys
the Isaiah Thomas
how we're
thing.
going to handle things.
Or was it that, Russ,
Right,
that they
Joe.
offered him 4 at 52 before the season,
Yeah,
and they weren't
essentially
gonna,
they didn't take the offer that they originally made to him off the table,
Yeah.
which I think is to their credit. There's a couple of other things. First off, if he's angry, sure, he signs a qualifying offer, but he's gone next year probably at that point in time. So if you don't sign him this year, you've got him for one more year, which that's the decision you have to make. And the other thing is,
And he's
the
not
contract
behaving.
is tradable.
Yeah,
it's
right.
a very tradable contract, and they need contracts of a certain size in order to trade to make an
that
offer
makes
for
sense.
Anthony Davis. You don't want to trade one of your big three,
Right.
then you have to have a mid-level contract to trade.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So is it possible to sign and trade as early as this year or no?
They can't trade him until after the new year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by regulation.
Right. So it's more like next season, next off season.
It could be at the trading deadline, but I'm assuming that what they'll do is they'll try to figure out who they want, Rozier or him. Or if Kyrie does leave, they keep Rozier in
keep
him,
them both.
Right? So they've got ultimate flexibility right now.
So we always worry about when guys get paid, right? How they react, because they can go one way or the other, right? We saw Christian Vasquez very happy to get paid and do nothing this season. All right, Marcus Smart got paid. Is it good or bad, boys?
I think Marcus Smart is. I don't think Marcus Smart is that kind of player. That's my opinion.
Right.
I just think that he's a lunch pail kind of guy, and you demonstrated to me that you trust me, and I'm gonna give it all I have.
Well, maybe he'll go out and actually work on his shot.
Well, I don't know about that.
There's been no. I mean, Marcus Smart has shown no inclination to dog it at any time. Arguably, Marcus Smart's biggest problem is, you you're in a game against a crappy team in the middle of February, and he's hurling his body all over the floor, right? Like
exactly.
You kind of want him to say, all right, let's take a step back. Let's play at 85, 90% sometimes.
Well, wait a minute. His biggest problem was being a dumb. He didn't know what the score was
Careful.
at the end of the game. He blew the game for them
No, I
in
know.
LA,
He has his
and then
moments.
went and punched
And then he has his
hotel
moments.
mirror, picture frame, you name
yeah,
it.
he has his moments.
It was out for a month.
Right. But
Nailing
look,
it is not one of Marcus Smart's problems.
but Brad Stevens stamped it. He rubber stamped this for Marcus Smart,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
If Brad Stevens doesn't like Marcus Smart, he's not getting signed.
Exactly.
That has nothing to do with Danny.
Well, I do think it gives Stevens a lot of flexibility. If he wants to bring in offense, he brings in Rozier at the guard position. He wants to bring in some defense, he brings in Marcus at the guard position when he's doing his substitutions, and it gives him a lot of flexibility to match up with other teams.
Yeah, great point. And if we want to win a championship, we need guys like Marcus Smart.
You need the
to-
character guys.
yeah, he plays basketball like a free safety.
And it would be
right?
safe to say, boys, that the Boston Celtics do not win the series against Milwaukee if he doesn't come back from the injury.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Right.
You know, you didn't hear too many players knocking Marcus after the punching incident, you know.
They love Marcus.
Yeah, no one badmouthed him at all on the Celtics.
Those young players call him the leader of the team.
He's 24 years old.
You know,
Yeah,
he
right.
is the veteran player on that team.
He's a senior player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
senior player.
Right, and that goes a lot in a small little
Yeah.
locker room. I mean, there's
No.
not a lot of guys in
They
the
still
NBA.
pay too much, but
They did, but again, it's not our money.
right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's not.
You know, and again, with NBA, it's all about just Wick and the boys paying extra money once they go over the cap.
Yeah, one little minor story to watch for is they're over the luxury tax right now, and for them to get under it, they'll need to dispatch somebody of some value between now and the end of the season. They only have to be under the luxury tax by the end of the regular season. So you take a look at, you could see Marcus Morris. If he's not getting a lot of playing time, you got to figure Marcus Morris is the
Yeah.
first guy gone at the trade deadline, right?
Yeah, because with Hayward on the team, if he's healthy, what are you doing with Marcus Morris? And you're not having him take shots in the fourth quarter.
I hope
Yeah.
not.
And if you're Isaiah Thomas, you're sitting home going, geez, what did I do? You know, Marcus is getting a boatload of money.
It's
you know.
amazing.
Kelly Olynyk's getting a boatload of
Somebody
money.
had told
Yeah.
you, which is a great
Evan
point,
Turner's
if
getting a
somebody
boatload.
told you this time last year that Marcus Smart would sign a contract at
Minimum.
5 times larger, five
Right.
times larger than Isaiah Thomas signed
Who was
this year.
supposedly a max guy.
Yeah, but look, first of all, I just want to ring my own horn. I predicted when the
Yes, you did.
Celtics traded Isaiah that things wouldn't go well there, and he would try to come back to the Celtics on a one-year make-it deal. I never thought it was going to be $2 million. Never. I imagined a $12 million
wait
deal.
7 minutes before you two would
I
go
never-
on.
Wow.
But you're right.
That's a new one
When we had to
over
cover the
under.
Dante's thing, there was
yeah.
By the way-
there was stuff there.
It was
By
the
the way-
pizza thing.
All right.
I don't think it's impossible that he could come back at the trade deadline. You need a shooter. Like you're looking for somebody. You're looking for somebody at the trade deadline. You know can play in Boston. If he's healthy and Denver's out of it, and they buy him out or whatever.
Do you think he'd, after the last kind of, gee, thanks, but we're good? You think
Oh,
he'd
I think
actually
he'd come back in a heartbeat.
Really?
All right,
Yeah.
do you think if his name was Joe Smith?
Oh, he'd
and
come
he
back
didn't
to a
have-
standing
and he didn't have
ovation.
the reputation that he has in Boston as
Yeah.
the man,
Yeah.
that the Celtics, just based on talent alone and his history in the NBA, would have signed him for the minimum?
Possibly, although he's such a defensive liability. I mean, we think Kyrie's a defensive liability. He just gets hunted down on defense time and time again.
Yeah, but Celtics get down by 10. Who are they chanting
Vinny
for?
the Microwave Johnson, right? That's our. He'd be the version of our microwave off
yeah,
the bench.
no, but
Yeah,
it
but
would.
you go 7 games against Cleveland with Isaiah with that no defense.
But they didn't want. Let's be honest. They didn't want Isaiah. They could have had him.
They could have had it pretty
Right?
easily.
Yes, they could.
They were said it's
Multiple
not a
times.
good. I just don't think it's a good mix for the team, right?
They like the team that they have now, and bringing him back is not the team that they have now.
Because they would rather have him in the ninth man role, right?
Yeah, and he's not going to want that role.
He may want it in February. My only point is
yeah,
like,
he
don't
wants
put
it
it
in
past.
February.
All right,
don't
it's a
put it-
prediction.
don't-
No.
No, I said May.
Okay, all right.
May. It's a little bit more nuanced than a hot take.
Well, we missed the professor last week.
Yeah.
and
Did it go off the rails?
no, it's pretty
Oh.
good for a while. Then it went off the rails. All right, but
A
Abdel,
certain name was mentioned.
we have to mention Abdel Nader because
Why?
Because I thought I say that we say that James Young may be the worst Celtic of all time. Okay, Nadir versus
There's a lot of
James
competition
Young.
Look, nobody in the history of the Celtics sucked worse than James Young.
Right,
Abdel Nader,
Cement shoes.
the man who
Rick
missed 4 free
Roby,
throws in a
Sidney
row.
Wicks. I mean, none of those guys were as big of wastes of flesh as James Young.
Sidney Wicks was a player.
He had a cool headband.
Yeah.
If you remember.
Yeah.
Good headband.
Finn Baker had to be one of the worst Celtics of all time. All right, so James Young continues to be the worst Celtic in 2010.
Absolutely.
In recent history.
Yes. All right, so breaking news from the Grandstanders live desk, and we break so many stories, it's ridiculous, but the Red Sox made a trade today. They traded Jalen Beeks, who was one of the biggest stiffs I've seen in the Red Sox
Definition of a
uniform.
4A player.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
The definition of a 4A player.
Yeah, Henry Owens.
Part two.
Henry
Yeah.
Owens, a sick Henry
Has
Owens.
Jalen Beeks ever been seen? Has Jalen Beeks ever been seen at the same room as Henry? How do we know he's not Henry Owens?
He must be.
He's half a foot shorter.
Right.
That's why.
And then when they said today that Jalen Beeks is 25 years old, I mean, he's almost seems to be too old to play in the majors at that
I think
point.
he's older than Erod.
Yeah, that was
So we've now talked about Jalen Beeks more than any other show.
that was batting practice.
Yeah.
Watching him. So we traded him to the Tampa Bay for Nathan Eovaldi.
Eovaldi, yeah.
Eovaldi.
You got that name right.
I know that.
First try.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
And
Your
I actually
mother
like
is
him.
proud.
I
Yeah.
like him. I'm not going to say his name again. Nate. We
Call
call
him Nate,
He's
yeah.
Nate because
We'll
we're
call him
close.
Nate.
Nate the skate.
He's the kind of guy who throws hard. I don't think he's a guy that, you're looking
Paints
for
the
7
corners,
innings for. But a guy in the playoffs who can come in when we know it's that kind of game. It's a 3-inning game, and give you 3 innings for a guy that you had no future here in the Red Sox peaks. That's a nice deal.
Yeah, just throw your heart out. We don't need you for more than 3. Just throw.
Right.
Three's a lot.
I mean, it's not a sexy deal, nor was the
Yeah.
Pierce deal. But the Pierce deal,
It's a deal.
right?
Yeah.
The Pierce
Yeah.
deals were.
So I got a question for you. It sounds like they're going to start Eovaldi, but I'm wondering if one of the effects of that is that you could put Pomeranz into the bullpen, because we're not getting the stud lefty hard throwing reliever, Britton, right? Pomeranz has a history of relieving. He's got a problem with
His whole
velocity.
career was
right?
a
He's got a problem with
reliever.
velocity right now. Why don't you just sort of put Pomeranz into that setup?
Oh, I don't know. He
lefty?
looks so bad. Did you guys watch him last night? He
but
didn't.
tell him to go in and throw the ball
So
hard.
did Porcello 2 games
But
ago.
if he's not trying, like the point that Russ is trying to make, he doesn't have to go 6-7.
Throw the
Just
ball
tell
hard for
him
1 inning.
you're back to where you can throw as hard as you want. You don't have to pace yourself.
Exactly.
So he's
1,
a
2 innings.
situational guy.
Well, he's going to end up being there, right? That's
Yeah,
probably
I
his
mean,
spot.
I think Eovaldi looks like he's been starting, and plus we have a lot of lefties in that rotation. Why not take one of the lefties? Price would be the other one. It's too early for Price. He's
Right.
pitching too well.
Yeah.
But take Pomeranz, put him in the bullpen. We need a lefty in the bullpen, and we need a righty in the rotation.
Yeah. No, that's
Right?
maybe what they end up doing. And if Pomeranz is pitching plus 90 fastball, he's doing well. But when he's under 90
man.
miles an hour, again, that's Jalen Beeks.
Yeah, remember? Right, exactly. Jalen Beeks are like Frank Tanana, circa 1992.
Yeah, that's right.
Right,
Exactly.
like a
Crafty.
slop, right? Crafty
Yeah.
lefty.
That's right.
Not what we're
With
looking
no
for.
craft.
A 25-year-old.
Yeah,
You're too young to
25.
be crafty.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. All right, so what hurt last night was losing, of course, to the Orioles, but to see Britton go to the Yankees, and if anyone was a perfect match to be on the Boston Red Sox in this current roster, you would solve the left-handed problem, and you
The
got a
eighth
guy,
inning problem.
eighth inning, and can close, as you mentioned last week, right, Joe?
You don't have anything in the cupboard.
All of a sudden, those deals, the Travis Shaw and 3 other minor league prospects, those kind of deals are catching up with
The
the Red
Yankees
Sox.
didn't give up anything. They gave up 3 pitches that were worth nothing. None of them were big.
They're worth more than what the Red Sox had.
Yeah,
though,
That's
obviously.
right.
But
That's
take into
exactly
account,
right.
he is a rental. He's going to be a free agent
Yeah.
at the end of this year.
Yeah, but the Red Sox are playing rental baseball.
Absolutely. Now, the Yankees are in a peculiar situation because right now they are, 5 games out, right?
3 in the loss
Yeah,
column.
so, but they have 7 less wins than the Red Sox.
That's right.
Okay, so you get a Britton, you do give up some prospects, and you could only play 1 game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where the Red Sox are in a situation where they're thinking right now a little long term.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But the Yankees are so far ahead in the wild card that they can say, Severino, sit down for 2 weeks. We're going to save you for the
one
wild
game.
card.
I know, but anything can happen in 1 game, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why you save your race.
Yeah, we're fearful of the Yankees because if they play in a series with us, and that would be the ALDS, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're fearful that it's a 5-inning game.
I mean, how many innings do they need out of a starter on that team? 4?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, right.
You
could
get
go
days
four.
off
You
in
gotta
between
hurt
these
'em early.
games.
You
You
gotta-
got it. That's such a great point. You got to get to these guys
The
early.
Yankees
Yeah.
bullpen is just loaded.
Loaded.
Okay,
Never
so
seen
maybe
one like
that strategy of Mookie Betts that I've been ripping all year leading off all of a sudden looks good because you want him to have as many up at bats against the.
What will
starters
it take
possible.
for you to admit that batting Mookie Betts first is the right decision? Like 800,
Oh, it's terribly wrong.
800 winning percentage.
No,
900.
no. It's a terribly
So
wrong.
he's second in the league, and he's probably second in the league in MVP.
But look at his RBIs.
Right, but look at he gets on base
His
all the
batting
time. He
average
gets
is
right off to the
OPS,
top. Like, what's it going to take for you to like? Are there any facts that would change your opinion on that?
No, because of the history of baseball right now, he may be the greatest, most powerful leadoff batter of all time. Which is stupid because nobody would ever do that.
No, Ricky Henderson did that for
Yeah.
15 years. He's in the
Oh,
Hall of
Mookie
Fame.
Betts is all right. Ricky Henderson's a Hall of Famer. I get it,
Yeah.
but Mookie Betts is putting up better numbers than Ricky Henderson.
Oh, I don't. We have to actually pull some stats
yeah.
on that.
Well, I think his average is better. His OPS is
Power,
probably better.
power.
than
Mookie
that.
Betts.
They're grown.
I know
and
they are
young.
grown.
Ricky Henderson
All right,
hit
boys.
31
You guys have a
every
computer.
record
You guys
for
can check
leadoff
it up, and you
homers.
come in here and tell me if I'm wrong. But
don't-
Mookie
just
Betts has better power numbers.
Never, ever, ever let facts get in the way of your opinion.
I never. Why would I do that? It would be no fun on
Yeah.
the show. All right, so a couple of things. Tyler Thornburg, and we're going to have Michael Dukakis on the show next week.
next
Governor
week, yeah.
Michael Dukakis for the
awesome.
fourth time, and he'll probably still be
He's
talking
no
about
Tyler
the Savage
Thornburg
Show
fan,
ideal.
yeah.
No, Tyler Thornburg's is stiff. You can pick him up anytime, anywhere, but yet we traded 4 players for him.
How long has he been on this team?
This is his
Couple of years,
Second
anyway.
year.
second year,
I
but
turned on the game last night, and the pitcher was on. I go, Dombrowski went out and got another pitcher. Who's this guy? And I see his jersey. It's just Thornburg. I never seen him. I didn't even know what he looked like.
he's a stiff.
He didn't throw an inning last year.
He's the James Young of the Red Sox.
But it just shows you that we didn't need to make that deal.
We did
So we
not.
go pick up a guy, Ryan Brazier. Literally, I think he picked. I pitched him maybe in the Chinese league last
Yeah.
year. Guy throws 98 miles an hour.
And looks good doing it.
Looks good. They haven't touched him. He hasn't given up a run yet.
You're not feeling too good when, in the middle of the season when they give you the numbers in the 70s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, Zach. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys, bullpens, as we said, you develop them each year. They're different.
Yeah.
And you don't
never know.
You don't spend a lot for.
So, what do you think? What do you think Cora is going to do with Kelly? Do you think he's going to keep running him into higher leverage situations, or is he?
That's
gonna
what
be
he
put in
seems to
the
be doing.
Doghouse for a week or two.
Joe Kelly's Joe Kelly. You know, I think he will use him.
Because he's a thrower, not a pitcher.
Yeah.
You know, so Kimbrel throws 98 miles an hour, and they don't have a chance. Kelly throws 100 miles an hour, and they're quite comfortable hitting that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Hit that.
Just stroking away.
I mean, there's an exchange rate when he pitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But guys like
But when he's
Brazier,
good, he's really good.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the guys like Brazier, guys like Heath Embry, should give Cora some luxury to put, Joe Kelly on ice for a week and just say, go fix your mechanics on the side without killing
But
us.
Kelly's had problems before like this, and
Yeah.
he's worked his way
That's
out
what
of
Pete
it.
Yeah.
said. It's Joe Kelly's being Joe Kelly.
Well, that's why guys are in the bullpen. If they were consistent, they'd be starters.
He's
They're
cost-
all bullpen guys are almost by definition inconsistent.
They're like goalies. Like you don't know. what
one
you're
year
gonna
they're
get.
good, next
Right.
year they
They
stink.
got so
right?
many bullets in the chamber.
Yeah.
But fellas, we need some kind of system in place by September. This guy's the 8th inning
Yeah.
guy. This guy's the 7th
yeah.
inning guy. It can't just be hit and miss in the
Embry in
playoffs.
the 7th, Timler in the 8th, Folk in the 9th. That was so simple.
Yeah, right. He's got it right. He reels him off. All right, boys. I got to talk about Alex Cora, and he's obviously done a great job as manager of the Boston Red Sox. But his press conferences, almost comparable. I know this is going to be sacrilegious to Russ Stevens, but almost comparable to Doc Rivers in content. That good.
He's very-
That must see.
Well, what's
Right.
what's the common thread between Doc Rivers and Alex Cora? They
Tell
both
the
did
truth.
TV. Well, they both did TV
Right.
before they became managers.
Both TV
right?
commentators,
and they're authentic. They tell you what they're thinking, unlike the other coach. in this
Farrell,
town.
yeah. yeah, well, we'll talk
Yeah,
about
we'll
him
talk
in a
about
couple
it.
minutes.
Aaron Boone must be good too then.
Yeah,
He
you would
is.
think so.
Very
yeah.
personable. Like
But he's aged quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, like a president. Yeah,
like just
Well,
like
Gary
a president.
Sanchez will do that to you.
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, you like the whole Yankees thing. If a guy dogs it, we just put him on the 10-day DL.
That's a Red
Sort of like
Soxian move.
Pablo
Yeah, it is
Pablo
Red Sox
Sandoval.
move, yeah, right.
Mystery illness.
Right, exactly. But he kind. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
We can't have a Pablo sighting. Yeah, Gary Sanchez is in that kind of dog mode right now. All right, boys. Before we go to the Patriots and it's training camp, and we're going there, who would you like to see? Ideally, if the Red Sox were to acquire a starting pitcher, Cole Hamels and guys like that, who would you like to see them go for if they had to?
Cole Hamels is kind of their MO to get a guy like that, like a Saber Hagen or a guy that's towards the end, but I don't know.
Would you rather see him get a second baseman or Cole Hamels?
Well, they
Why
just
do
picked
they
up
need
a
a second
star.
baseman?
I would
Well, because Edward Nunez at
Yeah.
second base is just been.
Yeah, but the
He's
other
been
guy,
terrible.
I'm not even talking about the other guy. He got spiked. I think he's out till.
He came right back.
Yes, he did.
Any
Tough
other man
as
would have been out for a
nails.
week.
Tough as
Brock
nails.
Vertigo Holt.
Yeah.
So
Vertigo, hold.
starter.
Yeah, no,
I'm dizzy
it's
out
like,
here.
You know, look, I think Hamels. If it all depends on Erod. I don't think you need a start. If you think that Erod's going to be back in 2 to 3 weeks, you get by with Johnson and Velasquez for a few starts. This guy Evaldi,
Yeah.
and it's. I don't think at that point in time putting another lefty into the rotation. I mean, we've got 4 lefties in the
That's kind
rotation
of
when
the
everyone's
problem because
healthy.
Erod, you just cannot
You
depend on.
can't depend on it. You can't count
And then
on it.
if you're going for it all in this season and you're going to play the Yankees or someone, you have to have someone you can.
And
And you're-
Erod nurses the injuries, too.
And you're nervous because it's 1-1, and you're going back to their home field, and all of a sudden, Erod's your starting pitcher for Game 3. How
I'm not
confident are
loving
you?
that.
No, yeah, are you confident
Yeah,
about
but
that?
I don't think we're getting anybody better than him for what we got in the
Right.
farm system. We couldn't even get Zach Britton.
Right.
Well, how are we going to get anybody better than Zach Britton?
Yeah.
And because of the luxury cap, we can't take on dough like we used to.
Yeah.
Again,
not my
thank you
money.
for Pablo and Hanley. Thank you, Ben
Ben
Cherington,
Cherington.
Yeah.
for all
Wherever
those
you are.
crappy signings, you piece of crap. All right, so we'll
Alan
go to-
Craig and
yeah. Oh, Rusney Castillo.
Oh yeah,
It's on.
And they're still paying
And
them all.
on and on. And I think, I'm not joking, we're still paying Adrian Gonzalez a check. That's not a joke. All right, so boys, we go to the Patriots and training camp has started. And Bill Belichick, Grady Little, finally had to face the music. And one Dan Shaughnessy, who's actually pretty good when it comes
Yeah, he relishes the
Yeah,
role.
he's good. I'll give Shaughnessy.
This is what he
that.
does well.
Yeah, he
This
knows
is
how
what
to
he does
annoy
I
well.
like
people.
the way he said, "This is my job."
Yeah, exactly. So Shaughnessy asked the right questions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
7 of them in a row.
Yeah.
Right. And he asked them in the correct way. It's not even me asking the question. The fans,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
executives.
Everyone's asking us.
And I'm just, carrying the water for these people, right?
Yeah.
And Belichick didn't even touch it at all. Does he owe the fans, the customers, some explanation?
Maybe it's him it's not him that owes the explanation. Maybe it's Bob Kraft that owes the explanation. Maybe
you
it's
think he's
Roger
taking
Goodell
one for
that
the
owes
team?
the explanation.
For what? For Butler?
Yeah.
No, but Kraft's already spoken about that. He said it was the
No,
coach.
he sidestepped the
He said
issue.
it was the coach. He's answered those questions. So, he answered the perfect question saying, are you going to discuss it with the team?
Yeah.
It was actually just perfect. And, this is the elephant in the room, right?
Well, there was no more predictable thing. Like any of us could have woken up today
Yeah.
and written the column that Dan Shaughnessy wrote after that press conference, right? Someone was going to ask him those questions. He wasn't going to answer them, and he wasn't going to answer them in exactly the same way he didn't answer them, which is like, that was last year, this is this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
do the best. He's
Yeah,
no.
but why
We're
not
moving
answer?
on.
Right, exactly.
Is it a detriment to the team now that it's negative?
Right, Malcolm's
conversation?
moved on. He can say it was a
Malcolm's
team
not
decision.
saying much either.
That's the interesting thing about this.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this.
If there was something,
If there's one other
if he
party,
felt injured by the whole thing, if he felt wronged, he would have said something. By now.
Especially now that he's out of town
Yeah.
and not coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
So and maybe there's a little bit of a cone of silence that Butler and Belichick put around themselves, and they said, look, neither of us should, let's not talk about this. Doesn't do us any good.
And do you think Matt Patricia and Ernie Adams are part of that group too?
Yeah.
It looked to
That's
me
all
like
a fraternity. That's
they
a fraternity.
looked like they didn't have a clue. It looked like Matt Patricia kept going, can we now? Can we now?
he knew damn well what was going on.
You
But
think
this
so?
story's not going away.
Oh,
There it
no,
is.
no.
This story's going to go away the second the Patriots go 1-0 in the regular season, and everyone's on to. I cannot wait until the regular season starts because they'll go 1-0, and then we'll have something to talk about other than what happened in the
If
last
they
Super
get
Bowl.
back to the Super Bowl, that's all anyone will be talking about. Who's he going to
I
sit down
doubt
this
it.
time?
What about what's the Harrison kid's name from Pittsburgh?
James.
James Harrison. You'd think he'd have said something by now. That was his shot at the Super Bowl.
No former player, no current player, no former player, no current coach, no former coach. The two principals in the matter, no one has said anything about this.
Meanwhile,
But there's something to it.
I
They're
guess.
just keeping quiet. There's
I think it's above all their pay grades. That's why.
Well, Harrison came out and said, yeah, we knew they were cheating. We always knew they were cheating. Tom Brady knew all the checkdowns. You say something as powerful as that, but you won't say anything about
That's right.
the Super Bowl that you didn't win on your last season.
because a coach chose not to
Yeah,
play
now that
a
seems
star
to
player.
me something that a player would be mad enough to say, okay,
That's
I'm
right.
retired now, I can
There's
say it.
something going on, but you ain't getting an explanation.
No.
You're just never
If you
going to
haven't
get
gotten
it.
it by now.
You're never going to get it.
Well, you'll get it 10 years from now when the tell-all book is written.
Yeah, but none of us.
We're dying to know
We
now.
won't remember it.
supposed to be in?
Yeah, what kind of shape are we going to be in? All right, boys. Jimmy G, because it's Jimmy G's world. So first of all, Jimmy G is now
Jimmy
he's
G and
dating
Malcolm
a
Butler go
porn
hand in
star.
hand.
And really,
What could possibly go wrong with that?
I'm so jealous. Come on, really, seriously, that's just
Not
wonderful.
touching that one with a 10-foot pole.
You see his office up there now? It's all San Francisco regalia instead of Celtics.
All right, so he's dating a porn star, and now apparently he comes out. He says
That's being generous.
he says that he because if you do porn movies, you're a star.
Yeah.
Right? So and then he all the other guys over there.
Yeah,
So
the
now-
interns
then he
liked
said-
it.
So apparently, Bill Belichick is still texting him.
He did last year, apparently.
After
he
every
was
victory.
traded, they still communicate with each other.
When he loses, I wonder if he'll get a text.
But doesn't this tell you something that Bill Belichick did not make that trade? That was
Oh, no.
that was Bob Kraft.
Oh, I think with this whole
That's
panel's
why I
been
wonder
saying
why
that.
you people
of
all
us.
blame Belichick for the Butler being benched, too.
No, but does this give you more proof to put on top
We
of
didn't want to
it?
trade. We, you said it. Pete said it. Joe, you could tell from how that went down that he did not want to do that. He looked brokenhearted. Belichick did, for God's sake.
I think Belichick has his number and was just really curious about how the date went.
Yeah,
So I'll give him a call.
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right,
Sloppy seconds for Bill.
so boys, we lost another wide receiver. We lost another Malcolm Mitchell.
What's
And
up with that?
yeah, so apparently he had another knee surgery, and you have multiple knee surgeries. I think maybe three in 3 years as a wide receiver. You're pretty much done. Yeah. We needed Malcolm, right?
And in football, if you have the surgery now, you're cut.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have it at the end of the season. Hockey players and football players,
But Joe,
you
I
get
think
it done
he
at
did
the end
have
of the season.
surgery at the end of the season. The problem with his knees he had bad knees coming out of Georgia. That was the book on him.
Yeah.
That's why he fell so far. And there's, how many games has he played?
Yeah, well, he didn't
8,
play
9.
any games, and they played half the season
he's
the year
damaged
before.
goods. I mean, it's just not going to
They
happen.
wouldn't
for
give
him.
up. He's everything they want. He's a quality guy. He does things right. And if he could play, he'd be there.
And the Patriots Yahoos say, well, at least we have Kenny Britt on the team. I mean, that's a difficult, wide receiving core right now without Edelman, though.
Yeah, I'm with Pete. Like, everyone's saying, well, now they, without Malcolm Mitchell, they won't have any receivers. Well, they didn't have Malcolm Mitchell last year. They made the Super Bowl.
But they lost Amendola.
We didn't
They
have
didn't have
Edelman at all.
Edelman.
We didn't have Edelman at all. Look,
Right.
my view is you have a healthy Gronk, right? And you've got Hogan and a collection of guys that at any given time
Kenny
can
Britt.
run the right route and make a catch. Jordan Matthews, Kenny Britt, some of these other guys.
Oh, my
I don't think it's
God.
going to
This
be
is-
that big of a
this is
problem.
race
Tom
Caldwell
Brady's
all
four-
over again.
This is
Tom
4
Brady makes
games.
superstars out of guys.
Right.
I know, but remember, they also don't have Brandon Cooks, and I know Brandon Cooks wasn't a star.
And it looks like they're going to incorporate the running backs a lot more this time, too.
Guys, we got through 4 games without our all-world quarterback. And yes, did Jimmy G played in 1.5 of them, but we got through the other 2.5.
It was a wonderful
We got
1.5.
through the other 2.5 with Jacoby Brissett. It's 4 games.
They won the 1.5, didn't
Right.
they?
It's 4 games. We're going to be fine.
All right, you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, just so before we go, Cyrus Jones is back. What's the over/under that he never makes it past training camp without
Who makes
some
it
injury?
further, Jordan Richard or Cyrus Jones this year?
Oh my God, Jordan Richards still.
He's got more lives than a cat, but it'll be.
He does.
I think Cyrus Jones has more to offer the team, where he's also a return man.
Taking his time.
Do they have guts to cut him? He was a second-round pick.
a favorite of Nick Saban's,
This will
his
be
buddy.
his third season, but a second-round pick.
We're in that cutting territory.
Yeah.
There's enough distance
Third
between now
season,
and
There's
then.
been no
it's
production.
The honeymoon's still on for a defensive back.
When's the honeymoon stop
Yeah,
for Jordan
no.
Richards, our second-round pick?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Played in the Super Bowl that day.
Yes, he did. Oh, my
Yeah, a lot of plays,
I'll never get
too.
over that. All right, well, that's our show. That went quick, boys. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes, of course, Handsome Todd and William the Intern. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for a special show. Governor Michael Dukakis is back. His fourth time.
Talking Tyler Thornburg.
Talking Red Sox and politics. So make sure to join us. That's our show for tonight. Have a great and happy night. I'm Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. The elephants are in town.
Here comes the circus.